injured. This is K-Texas News at 5.
2 more people have died in the mass shooting in Odessa. Good evening and thanks for being here tonight. I'm Will Jensen.
And I'm Courtney Brown. Tonight, we're learning the name of the shooter and just how much ground he covered. Veronica Soto anchors our live team coverage from Odessa. And Veronica, there's a vigil going on tonight to honor those victims.
There is, Courtney. In fact, it gets started in about less than an hour. I'm told that about 1,000 people are expected to show up here and honor the victims in yesterday's shooting here at the University of Texas Permian Basin. Today, the news we're learning is sad. We're learning that the death toll has increased from a reported 5 yesterday to a confirmed 7 today. And this university, this is where a press conference was held earlier today, and it was attended by different agencies, the governor and the FBI. Well, there have been several mass shootings across the country, many describing them as an epidemic. But this one, say law enforcement, was different. Different because they haven't seen anything like this across the country. And our K-Texas anchor, AJ Gersh, he's also live in Odessa. He tells us more about the 15 crime scenes.
Yeah, that's right, Veronica. I'm here at the Synergy Entertainment Complex where Saturday's mass shooting came to an end. But with that ending marks a new beginning of a tedious and unique investigation. Nerves rattled in Odessa.
And you don't expect something like this to happen to you and pour into this community, and it does happen.
It was a drive-by massacre, leaving 7 dead and 22 injured. But this crime is unlike mass shootings we've seen before.
Please understand this is a different type of active shooter that we were involved with because he was mobile. And that creates a very special type of issue.
15 active crime scenes means a much more difficult and thorough investigation for over 40 Texas Rangers and 130 from the FBI. But what makes this crime unusual is how spread apart they are. Many are small and isolated, like this vehicle here, hit by stray bullets.
We have worked very closely in the past with DPS and the Texas Rangers. In fact, the very same team that worked at the Sutherland Springs mass shooting is the team that's here from the Rangers, along with the FBI team that did that crime scene as well.
Letter carrier here in Odessa. Also,
and as you could see, that U.S. postal truck still here. They've been investigating for 24 hours now. Just one of 15 of the active scenes throughout the city. Police expect these investigations to extend through the next few days. We're going to send it back to Veronica at the vigil. But in Odessa, I'm AJ Gersh, K-Texas News.
AJ, thank you. And yesterday, initially, law enforcement believed that there were 2 gunmen. Today, we're learning that wasn't the case. The lone gunman has been identified as 36-year-old Seth Ader from Odessa. And reporter Matthew Sedor from our sister station, WOAI in San Antonio, has the latest on the alleged shooter.
Local law enforcement and the FBI seem overwhelmed by the magnitude of yesterday's shootings. And this is just one of the scenes. If you want to go ahead and follow me, this is as close as we can get to outside this Olive Garden. You can see it looks like they're taking some measurements and maybe even some photos out here on the roadway. And there are more than a dozen scenes just like this scattered across this small town.
Oh my God! He's gonna kill somebody!
New tense cell phone video shows a portion of yesterday's deadly chase and shooting rampage.
Oh my God!
Tonight, authorities in Odessa, Texas, choosing to not say the shooter's name.
I'm not naming this subject, and there's a reason for that. I refuse to. I'm not going to give him any notoriety for what he did.
An attack that started with a routine traffic stop. Police off camera now identifying the alleged gunman as 36-year-old Seth Ator. Is there any reason to believe that this could have been a planned attack?
Again, the investigation is still ongoing, and there's a lot of questions that we just don't have answers to at this point.
Dramatic video outside the Synergy movie theater Saturday shows a massive gun battle with law enforcement. Brooklyn Bryles had been going to a nail salon. Unaware, a nearby driver was on a mission to kill.
Definitely unsettling just to think about the fact that you could be walking into a restaurant or walking in to get your nails done and you die.
Tonight, 7 people now dead and more than 20 injured.
I'm heartbroken by the crying of the people of the state of Texas.
Many, like Brooklyn, wondering why the shooter decided to kill.
Your life can be over in the blink of an eye without ever knowing that you got to say goodbye to anybody.
Yesterday, there was a whole bunch of confusion. A lot of people thought they saw more than one shooter. Today, the FBI and police departments say there was just one gunman. In Odessa, Matthew Seedorf, back to you.
Many of the people that we've spoken to today just describing it as a very chaotic scene. And it's already overwhelming to have to bury a loved one, then add a sudden and violent death. And many are now offering to pay for the funeral cost of those victims because they understand. And there's one funeral home in particular, La Paz Purchased Funeral Homes. They know this all too well. In fact, the owner of the funeral homes in Odessa is offering free funeral services for the families of the victims. Interest for assistance, he says, has already poured in, including the family of the youngest victim killed, a 15-year-old girl.
The victims range from, young adults to, all older folks. So, the younger, they're not going to be prepared. And if we can take that little bit of burden off the family and make it easier for them, that's what we want to do.
It's unbelievable for them. They say 1 month ago, La Paz Purchased Funeral Home offered funeral services for the victims of the mass shooting at the Walmart in El Paso. Now let's talk about the youngest victim in yesterday's shooting, just 17 months old. We have a picture of the little girl. Her name, Anderson Davis. She had shrapnel in her chest, a hole through her bottom lip and tongue, and her front teeth were knocked out. A woman who works at a daycare that Anderson attends started a GoFundMe page for that little girl. She says she can't imagine what those parents are going through.
I went to bed to the point where I was wanting to puke last night. It was just, it hits close to home. Like, it could have been my kids that happened. We were having a birthday party yesterday, so that's why we weren't out and about.
Already, we've learned that $153,000 has been donated to that little girl and her medical expenses. If you would like to help and donate, we have a link for you to that GoFundMe page on our website, ktxs.com. Again, this vigil behind me is supposed to get started in less than an hour. About 1,000 people expected to turn out and honor the victims in yesterday's shooting. There will be music, there will be candlelights, and we're going to be here covering it for you. We'll have more at 10. For now, I'm Veronica Soto reporting in Odessa.
Veronica, thank you. And Governor Greg Abbott has ordered Texas flags to be flown at half-staff through sunset on Thursday in honor of those Odessa victims. And President Donald Trump says he'll work with Congress to stop mass shootings. Stay with KTexas for continuing coverage of the Odessa mass shooting. We'll update you online, on mobile, and on air.